Oh, well, that round was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? So with round 2 completed, let's check out the scores and what I predicted. Yeah, I didn't do so well with 4 out of 9. But first game, Carlton versus Geelong. I predicted Geelong to win by a big score. Their finishing in round 1 was brilliant, and Carlton really were a little lackluster. However, Carlton ran away victors by 8 points against Geelong, so not good. Then we had Brisbane, who lost their first game. They were playing Melbourne, and I thought once again a good win by Melbourne. And as you can see, only 24% of the people in the tipping competition thought Brisbane would win, but they smashed it out of the park and they beat Melbourne by 11 points. So another down the drain. Not good so far. We then went on to Collingwood versus Port. Now, I did Collingwood to win. I did them by 20. And as you can see, most people here, did about 33, a maximum of 33-point win. But no. Collingwood went and won by 71 points. Oh my word. What a huge victory by Collingwood. I did predict at the start of the season, if you check out what I predicted in the league tables, that Collingwood would do quite well this year. And they are doing that right now, and they are currently in second place behind the mighty red and white Swans. But they are having a cracking season in the first 2 games so far. Then it was Adelaide versus Richmond. This was a game that I thought, well, it could go either way. It really did depend what team turned up. And it was a fairly high-scoring game. I went for the Crows. Richmond, unfortunately for me, they managed to win. And they won by 32 points in the end. They ran away with it. 73% of people did think Richmond were going to win. So fair play to them. I was in the minority that time. So another stinker by me. Then St Kilda and the Bulldogs. I did St Kilda to win by 6. I wish I did it by more because Western Bulldogs were absolutely hopeless and St Kilda won. I do get a point for the win. It's amazing to see there, though, that actually 59% of people went for Western Bulldogs to win, which is strange. I know they were favourites at the start of the game, but I don't see anything with Western Bulldogs at the moment. They are not great at all. So I got a point. I'll take that and run with it. Then we had Dockers versus North Melbourne. Whoa, what a game we had. So I did Fremantle to win by 15. I thought the Dockers would, improve from their first game. And obviously North Melbourne, I put them down in the bottom 2 at the start of the season, but they've come out strong. They are 2 out of 2 on victories, and they managed to just sneak a 1-point win against the Dockers. So fair play to Melbourne. North, brilliant job. Now we move. This is ridiculous. I would like to say 97% of my tipping competition predicted the Swans to win. And I went for a big win. I went for a 30-point win. But that was not enough because the mighty Swans won by 81 points. Wow. Is that, I think, the biggest winning margin of the round? 81 points. Hawthorn, absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. If I was a fan of Hawthorn, I would be really, really upset because that isn't even turning up. We didn't even have Buddy. What a result. And that puts us top of the table. I'm so happy with that. Then we moved on to Essendon versus Gold Coast. Now, Gold Coast put a better effort in than I thought they would, in the sense of how many points they got. But 93% predicted an Essendon win, and I was there. I got the point for the win and a point for being close on the score. I predicted 34. Essendon actually won by 28. So Essendon also doing well. Who knows what the hell's going to happen this season? There are some teams I didn't predict to do well and who've started really well. Then the last game was West Coast Eagles versus GWS. And The minority got it right again this time. So 69% thought GWS, they had a really, really good result. But another time, the team that I've predicted in the bottom two have gone and won. So a bit of a stinker for me this week. Not good predicting. But there was a few results where the majority did get caught out. So let's have a look at the table on our competition. We've now got 110 entrants in this. And Jackson at the top. What an absolute blinder he's gone. Shot up 7 places. He is the current man of the round. Let's have a look where I am. I am down in the 30s. 34. I dropped down 16 places. That is not good. Although Ems and Lion King, they also dropped down quite a few as well. And Frenchie, not good. Let's check out who is bottom. There you have it. Bottom, Mop. No, Mop. That is not a good round either. Wooden spoon goes to him. I just wanted to check out how well the top player, Jackson, did. Oh my God. He is currently at a success rate of 83% and number 1 in the entire AFL tipping competition. In round 2, he got all correct scores. Oh my God, what a result. I need betting tips from this guy. Okay, let's see if we can do any better in round 3 and try and creep up the table. First game at the Marvel Stadium, we've got Bulldogs versus Lions. Now, Lions have just come from a fantastic victory against the D's, and the Western Bulldogs are on awful form. And so I can only go with Brisbane, and I think it's got to be a big one. I'm going to go 30. Might even be more than that. Who knows? But Brisbane by 30 for the first game. Then we go over to the MCG, and that is on Friday. Collingwood versus Richmond. Collingwood on fantastic form. Richmond doing pretty well themselves, but it's at the MCG. Does it make any difference? I don't think so. Collingwood, I think they're just playing really well. I think Richmond might struggle. They might struggle. I'm going to go Collingwood by 10. But actually, I've got a sneaky feeling that Collingwood may win by more. I don't know. It's who knows? It's all about what team turns up on the day. I could be completely wrong. Next up, Hawthorn versus North Melbourne. Hawthorn have been absolutely useless. We are at the University of Tasmania Stadium in Launceston. Hawthorn versus North. They're playing really well, aren't they, Melbourne? The Kangaroos are flying. Bouncing. Bouncing probably sounds better because they're Kangaroos. I'm going to see if they can keep up their form. I don't think it's going to be as confident. I'm going to go by 6. I don't think it's going to be a big win. I think Hawthorn have got to get their backsides into gear. So, yeah, North by 6 there. Geelong versus... Geelong? Giants versus Carlton at the Giants Stadium. So it is at the Giants Stadium. I just cannot see Carlton. Oh no, because they are doing okay, aren't they? And Giants, it's hit or miss. This is a tough one. It shouldn't be a tough one because really Carlton should win this. And I think they should. It is over in Sydney. So is that help for Giants? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, because I'm sorry. No, oh, this is really difficult. I'm going to be difficult. Yeah, no, I'm going to go against it. I'm going to go Giants by 6. And it's not because I dislike Carlton. I promise you. I just think it's at the Giants Stadium in Sydney. The Giants may be good, may be awful. I'm going for it, but it may be a complete wrong. Next one, this one is at the MCG, St Kilda versus Essendon. Both teams playing well. I don't think there's a lot in between these teams. Both these teams at the start of the season, I predicted to finish sort of outside of the top 8. However, both teams are 2 wins out of 2. So what the hell separates them? This is a really difficult week. I think this is the most difficult week so far out of the first 3. I'm going to go St Kilda by 6. Not a lot. but I really don't know. That's a really tough one. Now over at the Adelaide Oval, home of Port Adelaide and home of Adelaide Crows. Crows, they buckled it in the first round, didn't they? And then they just really didn't turn up in the second game. Port, fantastic, awful. I think I'm going to go Port. I think Port are the stronger team. I don't think it's going to be a stupidly big score, but I'm doing Port by 10. But another one that could go either way. What a mess this week is. Gold Coast Suns versus Geelong. This has got to be the week Geelong finally hit the ground running. It'll be late, but they've got to hit the ground running. Gold Coast are pretty awful. The only thing is it's at the Metricon, which... yeah, it's at the Metricon, but I just don't think Gold Coast are good enough. So I'm going to do Cats by 20. If they can get their kicking in gear... no, I'm going to do Cats even by even more. Cats are going to have a strong start. 35, there you go. Cats are going to do this, are going to do well, I think. And Gold Coast Suns are just awful. They are awful, I'm sorry. Next, this is the big game. This will be this week's live watch-along on Sunday. Melbourne Demons versus Sydney Swans. Swans are on fire. I know it's at the MCG, but the Sydney Swans are on fire, so I am going Swans by 20. I've got confidence in my bloods. Funny thing is, Demons are favourites for this, but yeah, with Demons, we've had a really good game and a pretty poor game, so Sydney are going with the form, but it's still another difficult one to call. Then we are going to Fremantle versus West Coast. West Coast have actually got a win. Dockers haven't. They lost by 1. They've got to get it this time. Dockers by 10. West Coast I don't think are that good, and they are doing better than I thought they would. Fremantle, like Geelong, have got to get that win. They're both at the Optus. There's no real advantage for either team. I'm going Dockers by 10. So there it is. We've got Brisbane by 30, Collingwood by 10, North by 6, Giants by 6, St Kilda by 6, Port by 10, Geelong by 35. This is the comeback for Geelong. Sydney by 20 and the Dockers by 10. A really, really difficult one to call this week. Some quite even matchups. There's not been a game where there's a real strong team against a weak team, I don't think, bar possibly a couple. So, fingers crossed, this is a better week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Join me for our watch along on Sunday, the Demons versus my Swans, and I will catch you next time.